And I think one of the things that has happened with a lot of us around stress is because we didn't have that maturity around integrating stress modeled for us by the adults in our lives. We learned to kind of hold it very close, almost like like it was separate from everything else. But the truth is the stress that we feel is collective because we don't end at our bodies. And so part of the learning to be more masterful with stress is allowing ourselves to take it less personally in a sense, to just notice what's being felt and not assume that it has everything to do with us. We are, of course, feeling our own individual experience, but also we're very connected with everything that's happening around us. So allowing ourselves to kind of sense the other souls that are here, and as we come together and we consciously meet our experience, our nervous systems align that much more and join that much more to create a greater source of presence and a greater capacity to integrate stress and the unintegrated material that leads to very often stress in our lives. So part of doing this type of work together is just that. I believe that probably the most successful cultures on our planet value the power of the collective nervous system. And they recognize that when one person in their family or community is having issues, it's not just that individual's issues, it's the collective's issues. And so when one person is struggling, the whole community comes together to sense where the deficits are, what hasn't been integrated, and everybody contributes their own capacity to presence to the process because they recognize that when one individual is out of balance, it's actually reflective of the whole family or community. And I believe that that's something that we are learning in our culture, certainly in the Western world, where a lot of this has been forgotten. And those of us who are drawn to these things are probably the sensitive ones in our families, in our communities. And we are learning to really, we're learning to become the foundation from which this collective nervous system can begin to reconnect all of the lines that have gotten disconnected and to exemplify this capacity to really hold space for stress as a portal for evolution. And we do that in our own lives first, and then we can expand into our relationships and into our families, into our communities, into our towns and cities and countries and beyond that. So while it might seem that what we're doing here is to create more ease and comfort in our own lives, which of course it will, I believe that ultimately there's a greater purpose for all of this, and it's profound when people are willing to look at what we call stress in a deeper and a more intimate way.